Welcome back to HAMSTERMIND, where we're facing what might be the final challenges of the pyramid, or we're just digging a deeper rabbit hole for us to fall down into and find even more crazy puzzles. So we have to get in it and see which option it is. Last time we've been going through this language puzzle and I said, hey, some homework if you want to solve it yourselves, and then we'll come back and see how we're done. Because honestly, I've kind of run out of brains to do it at the time, but I've had a little sit down, I had a little think, and I think I know what the answer is, but I haven't tested it yet, so we'll see if I was right. So this is the shape. We've got basically the maximum amount of shapes we can have. We're gonna fill in the whole board. We've got every single of the additional shapes that decide the rules of the game attached all over the place. So there's gonna be lots of things happening on this board. First of all, we've got to apply the stars. So for that, of course, using my trusty whiteboard, the open star applies to two nearby shapes because they're both two junctions away, so the circle becomes filled, the triangle becomes filled. I don't like it when the circle becomes filled. It makes the whole puzzle tricky. The filled star, there are two other shapes 4 junctions away, so we have one triangle that becomes empty up here and one triangle that becomes empty up here. No circles become empty, which means we're going to be dealing with 3 separate filled circles for this puzzle. With that in mind, there are 25 junctions total in this whole shape. We're looking to get as close as possible to that number, right? Because we want to get a path that has the most possible junctions, so that kind of sets us the target. There are a couple junctions that are sort of dead ends, like this one up here. If we were to go up to this shape, then there is no way to turn back because we're not allowed to double back or cross the path we've made, so probably not going to be doing much there. But yes, starting with this circle up here on the square, I found that if we go all the way around to the triangle below, we can cross 21 separate junctions. That's my best answer for this. For the third circle on the S shape at the bottom, I got 20 junctions by basically just going around all the squares and to the circle right next to it. And then finally for the semicircle, I've got 21 junctions by taking some extra corners around the square junctions and wrapping 2 these filled stars over here. So that one I think was the trickiest of all of them, because the temptation is always to basically pick a shape that's nearby because this is a closed route, and then try to basically go around all the squares and loop all the way around. But the best number I could make with that was 20. So obviously doing a 21 by being able to take an extra corner around the square junctions is a better answer. So I'm hoping that's the correct numbers for the closed circles, and then we're gonna apply all the other rules as we go. So we've got the numbers, and now we need to arrange everything correctly because, again, the board is going to be full, so we have to be careful. We have 3 shapes that want to be at the top. So those are going to be the middle square because that arrow is reversed. It doesn't have any other instructions, so that's fine. It's the line with the arrow up. Again, no extra instructions. And it's the S shape. And that one has the closed circle, so it's got 20 count on it. Then we have 2 things that want to be on the left side. It is the line and it is a square with an open circle on it. Again, the semicircle that's at the top, it ended up with a closed arrow, so it's no longer on the left side. The square with the circle on it wants to count that intersection. It intersects 3 other shapes, but it does so twice for each of them, so the number should be 6. And now we have the remaining shapes. So the semicircle at the top now wants to be not on the left, so this is fine, no other instructions. There is the other semicircle that doesn't care about position, it only cares about number. And it got 21 from the closed circle, and then it also has an open circle, so 2 extra intersections, that's 23. After that, we've got another line with a circle, it has a single intersection. And finally, the square with a closed left arrow and then the flipped circle to closed, so it's got 21 number on it as well from counting the path and intersections. There we go. Oh, and that's the last one as well. That means we've solved every single shape puzzle in the pyramid as far as we know. I presume there aren't any more, so we should be getting the final hints for the Scarab riddles now. 5 solved. That's it. I finished them all. Yes, that's it. Wonderful. Give me a little more time to finish this translation and then we'll finally be done. Yes, she's translating and she's put it in her journal. She doesn't know what it means, but we know that it's for all of them Scarab boxes. Okay, so we have this word grid on the left side, which aligns with the clues we've got for the Owl Lady game. So we were gonna have to solve that. And then we have this grid clue, which, I mean, immediately this looks like the levels in the game, right? 4 squares arranged like that, with some paths drawn on them. And obviously the B6 and C2, those are level markers, right? But then, yes, what are the ticks? What are the crosses? This is clearly like an example this is giving us to what you can do in those levels. But then at the bottom is like, okay, then using that example, once you've worked out what you're supposed to do, take those levels at the bottom, so B1, B3, C5, D4, A1, A3, add the pairs together, however you're supposed to add them, and that will give us the answer to, again, one of the Scarab boxes. So let's go to that area just to connect the dots. Probably not gonna get into solving that right away because I want to do the levels and see if there's any more clues we need to gather for the yellow panels, right? Because the clues we have at the end of the journal still come together with the clues on the yellow panels, so we may be still missing information because we don't have all the yellow panels. So this one, the squares here, I think that aligns with this final clue we got on the right side here, because there is again 3 groups of 4 squares that we have to link to numbers, right? So I would expect each of the pairs to maybe produce 2 digits somehow, and that's what we'll be able to enter into the Scarab. Then the Owl Lady game, I guess this might be it, right? Because again, it's like a grid, similarly like the grid of the words. So the clues we have for that is what we just got with the words. Is this page in the journal, right? Because from the very start, we've had this where she does some sort of logic that lets her figure out his name is Hamster Jones, and there's like a relationship between the words, right? Because they're like big and small, odd, even, break, deal, stuff like that. So there's some sort of word relationship situation going on. And then we had a yellow panel for it as well already here, this Owl Lady's game example, where it tells us the way that the designation of A1, B1, A2, B2, they have to be put on that board in a way where they're aligned. And then similarly to the example at the start, we're going to end up with 3 words that are not paired with anything. And those are the words that will form some sort of answer. And from that, we get to a 6-digit number. Now, there is like 2 on this word grid, but I don't presume we will be having a set of number as an answer because there isn't any more numbers. There are things that could refer to the numbers, such as a date of some sort, right? And we had a few dates around the game, but there are also things that could maybe give us a location, because there is like under things or over things, ground, side, right? So they could form some sort of clue to go over there and look at that thing and you will find something. But yeah, that requires a lot more processing, because while I see that there are rules to this game, I'm not exactly yet 100% on it. We also already had the clue to the trophy stuff. So again, it's something to do with the levels, because there are the levels designations. And then we will have to use those numbers to do some maths. Now, this one. I tried to solve it last time because I was like, this is definitely the numbers from the outfits, but the reason I didn't solve it is because I was trying to find the extra manipulations we're supposed to do, and the ones I tried did not work, and then once I was editing I realized there was another manipulations like I could have done that I didn't do at the time, because in the notebook there are differences between what it says here and the outfit doors that we have at the top. So the top hat is the same. The moon is reversed. It's facing to the left side, and on the outfit it's facing to the right side. So I thought like it might be the numbers reversed. So we went from it being 89 to being 98, but that didn't work. So then my other idea is like, oh, maybe it's not backwards. Maybe it's like rotated, and therefore that would make it 68. So the whole code would then be 9, 68, 1, and then 96 because there were 2 pyramids on the outfit door, but 3 pyramids in the journal, which means we multiply it by 1.5. There we go. So yes, I was misunderstanding the operation on the moon in my previous attempts. So that's an extra beetle to our collection. Now, I think the only thing we're working towards is 50 beetles will unlock that final door, but it's even unclear whether that's an outfit, right? It just says question mark. So that could be like another secret wing of the pyramid or something like that. And then finally we have the birthdays. The problem right now with the birthdays is that on the clue we have, it says 5 birthdays or 5 birthday cakes, and that gives us day, month, and year. As far as this journal is concerned, they give us 4 birthdays. 4 birthdays of the different characters, which are all of the characters we meet here. The birthday that's missing is for ourselves, Hamster Jones. So we don't have that. So that's potentially what we're missing. But I'm not sure how we're finding this out because I didn't see any references to that in the journal. There is a thing here where it's like Hamster went to the hospital and had to rest and take Calmox because he's been solving too many puzzles. However, this doesn't include his birthday or anything like that. So this is where I'm saying things like, we're missing still some yellow panels. Actually, we're missing 1 yellow panel. Which, I mean, it would be weird if it was Hamster Jones' birthday on that final panel, but never know, it might be. So while I think those 3 scarabs might now be solvable, we might have the right amount of information if I just sit down and think about it. I think what we're gonna do first is, go down to the secret wing and try to solve the final 4 levels and collect the remaining information. So we start at E7. Clockwork navigation, which only has a single light we need to get, but lots of jellies blocking it. So it's definitely not a simple adventure. But before we get to that, let's get the scarab, right? Because we need to also get those in order to complete the collection and get the whole 50. So the problem we're gonna face here is that we have to break through that column on the left side with the spikes from the top, but we have to do it in the perfect order. And there are the blowing scarabs on the top, which means every time we try to approach that top corner, things are gonna get blown around the place, shuffled about and stuff like that. We have to be careful about turning this way because our shapes could lose their spikes, and other than the scorpion, everyone needs their spikes. But even when the scorpion loses their spikes, we probably have to be careful about how that happens and when. Here, scorpion could get out, but the spider will also fall into the scarab exit, so that's not good for us at all. And then yes, we get this sort of shenanigans where they get all shuffled around by the scarabs. But that means we kind of basically have to be doing this, right? Rock it back and forth on this one side in order to get the right shuffle. There's probably an organized way to do it, but I'm not quite sure how to pre-plan that. So I'm just gonna do this for a little bit and see where it gets me. So here, the Scarab and the Scorpion are in the right place to exit, but the spider loses the spikes. And this is... we can't allow that because then he won't be able to exit. So we somehow have to shake him away from here. But then we're gonna lose that whole setup we've had. Lots of this back and forth movement, but this time we get a better formation because we can get the Scarab and Scorpion out without the other blocks losing their spikes. So now we can get the Cobra out again safely for the other blocks. Then the spider is next. And finally the fox. Now I have no explanation about how to shuffle those blocks at the start, but basically just going left and right over those scarabs eventually gets us there. We just have to understand when we've gotten to the right point to start slotting them in. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into this puzzle. So we've got 3 laser receivers and 3 lasers. So from looking at this, what I think needs to happen is that we get this triple laser tile into here, basically. So once we have the 3 lasers here, we need to have the corners, top and bottom, and then the straight piece next to it here, and we can ride the straight piece across and then turn it around. We're still gonna have the jellies unlocked, and then we can exit through there. It's just finding the right combination of things to align with that, because not all the tiles have ways through. Like here there isn't a push through, so we can't get that top corner, which means we are forced to use something else to get around into the corner there and then move along. Because here we can grab the straight piece. It's also not passable in the middle, but we can just turn it around if we need to. So now we can get this out of here. But then how do we get the other corner out? So if we put it all together like this, we can bring this here. But now we need the pieces to swap. I mean, that lets us move this into here, but we now have 2 disjointed pieces we can't save. So this is almost it. Except for the bit where that bottom piece is stuck over there and we have no access to it. Yes, the other option is we do the reverse, where the lasers are here, the corners are up and down, and then we ride the middle piece to exit and go around. But I'm not sure that makes the whole situation any easier. Because, I mean, we can get the 2 corners in place now. But now the straight piece, we can't get back to it. If I put it down here, then ride this piece back, then I'm able to get back to it and ride it along to the exit. All the jellies are out of place and we can just hop around and get the light from there. Okay, that's E7, all complete, everything's done. So we can move on to E8, but yes, those puzzles are really tricky. Okay, this one's called Where to Begin. Again, 6 stars, so the difficulty is at the max. As always, Scarab first. So all the blocks that we want to exit are trapped in the middle. And we have the scarabs with the spikes. But they're kind of set up to not do anything right now or lose their spikes before they've been helpful. So we gotta carefully manipulate them into the right spots. Like, yeah, there he loses those spikes. Is that helpful to us? Probably not. So the trick here is going to be which way we need to turn to free those shapes and then still be able to get them into the exits. Obviously, they're not much their exits right now, which means there will be more manipulation. And they're right next to each other, so it's gonna be easy to also fail in some way where they go into the wrong exit. So if we do this, we can hit the scorpion exit and he might be out. But because he's the middle shape in the exit, that may cause us difficulties. But in theory, now we are able to get all of the shapes out. It's just what happens next. In order to get to those exits, we also have to prop the blocks up on other blocks, because otherwise they don't have enough reach. But like now we're too far up and too many blocks, so we don't quite want to do this. We can potentially try and lock some scarabs in that middle section. But that might just be one at a time. I can get the second one in, but not sure they're gonna stay there for long. This is probably a bad setup, because yes, now we're gonna get ourselves trapped without being able to move those pieces out. But yes, this will release the scarabs. Once again, they're free. I can also break in through the bottom of that container. But I'm not sure. Yeah, that kind of like once we get to like stack shapes on that side with the exits, it's easy to get blocked by the fact that any move next is gonna break the whole situation. So now the fox can go in. That's one less tile to worry about, but we have to still figure out rotating the rest of them to get to the right places. Okay, this way the scorpion would go in, but then the scarab is chasing it, which means it will fall into the cobra exit, and that's gonna be a fail. So we need to also be getting those scarabs out of the way as we do those rotations. Okay, now the scorpion can go in. And now we just need to get that cobra coming in from the same angle. Or alternatively standing on some of the scarab blocks. Okay, and now we've got the cobra in place, and it can go out. So that's another one to our collection, and now we've got to find free lights in this maze of teleporters. We've got lots of teleporters that are currently basically making it impossible to get the lights, because if we go here, the blue teleporter is going to send us in that corner, and then we come out this side. And that means we can never get to that light, because neither of those tiles can rotate, so we can't change anything about that relationship through that. We can go through to here, but then similar problem with the yellow teleporter. We cannot approach the yellow teleporter from the top in order to be able to go through down to the light. So all we can do is loop around between those teleporters. The one behind the pink one, we may be able to do that If we can get to the pink teleporter, that is. Because again, the only way we can approach this is from the wrong side. Because then we could at least spin that tile. There is a cube. We have learned before that the way we can use a cube to our advantage with teleporters is that we can use it to block a teleporter exit and therefore make that teleporter pair something we can just walk over. So for example, that may solve our light blue teleporter problem. To get there, we need to go through orange, rotate ourselves, then we can have the cube. But now we would have to somehow transport it all the way to the bottom row between the light blue and the pink. And cubes are not subject to teleportation, right? Which means I would still have to rotate the tile the pink teleporter is on, which I can do. If I go through here, go to the notch where the cube... No, I can't. I was like, oh, because I could go across here. I can't because this is a blocked path. So I can't go across there. Which means there is something we can do to slightly offset the relationships between those teleporters so that this will be allowed. If we go to red, I can then rotate this whole thing so that the way the red is pointing as well as the dark blue and the purple are different. Does that help us? Because, I mean, it changes basically which ways we can cross those teleporters. One thing that's a problem now is this teleporter being a bit of a mess. I guess what I can do is if I can get the cube with me to the top, then I will be able to leave it behind me so that when I come through here, I'm not able to teleport back through the blue. That doesn't help me get the light, but it does help me rotate this. Right, that makes the pink teleporter accessible. Which means we can, for first thing, expose the light and make it so that I'm able to go to it, so that's first one. And then I'm still able to go to pink and get across here, collect the light. And then I need to go and get my cube. But can I go get my cube? And do I need it still? Because now the only remaining light is the yellow light, which requires being able to go down through yellow, which would be possible if I came out through the purple teleporter and the space underneath the yellow here would be blocked, because then I wouldn't be able to teleport, so I will be able to go across. But for that, I need my cube. But now I'm thinking, can I get it back? Because I think this is stuck, right? I can get to this teleporter, but I can't grab the cube anymore. And without being able to get back up there, I can't rotate that middle top tile to get to the cube from the other side. So I think there is a order you're supposed to do things in here, and if you do it wrong, you're stuck. So that blue teleporter has to be done last. So we gotta restart. Okay, so now we can push this cube here. Go down, go up, right? So now the yellow, we will be able to cross it if we can just get to purple. For that, we need to go through red, rotate this whole tile so that we can access dark blue, then purple, and then go across, get this light. Okay, now I just gotta repeat all the other steps I did before to get the other two lights. It's just that had to happen first. So then it needs to be the one that's next to the pink teleporter and the one that's light blue at the end. I've got all the lights and I've gotten out of the puzzle, not stuck anymore, and we can leave this place and relocate to E9. E9 is called Welcome to Hell. Because, yeah, there's gonna be danger all over. 4 lights all between those dogs. But I assume there's also hell in the Scarab puzzle waiting for us. Yeah, spikes, teleporters, everything. So, as always, the challenge here is going to be which way we're using the spikes and which way things are traps, right? In this case, we're probably looking at which teleporter something needs to fall into in order to get to where it needs to be. And can it get to that teleporter? Because, like, Scarab going into the purple teleporter could break through to his exit, but right now there are a lot of walls between the Scarab and the purple teleporter, so finding that path would be something. Like, the Cobra just sits above his exit, but as soon as we turn, he's gonna break through one of the walls and no longer be able to get there, right? However, if we reverse him now through his exit here, he will exit. However, by doing that, I could have completely messed up one of the other shapes, right? So probably nothing to get too happy about just yet. I think this is the start of it, because going clockwise at the start seems to get me into a situation where I just get stuck or things exit the wrong way. Now we have to look at how we're maintaining various spikes, right? This way the Scarab is only left with the bottom spikes and, well, currently the spikes are on the left, but from his perspective, I guess that's the right spikes. So this has to inform basically how he's getting to his exit because it's completely enclosed. The same with the Scorpion, he will still need to pierce through something in order to get into that area. So this way we don't lose spikes on anything. Then the Scorpion can pass through here for basically helping the Scarab out for later. But then, is this it? Are we going back the other way? This is now the Scarab needs to go down through here. That is his exit. If I go through here, the Cobra can open the orange teleporter wall instead of the area where the Cobra exit is. That lets us get the Scorpion out. But again, can we get the Fox out of here? Spider can exit through purple. But I think the Fox is stuck again because he's either teleporting into blue then they're getting stuck in that corner. No, he can exit through orange. But I think the Cobra still needs to help him somehow. So we can have them both here, but this is not the right shuffle, basically. Now I got the Cobra doing the thing that the Fox was doing. But now Cobra can come out of the orange, and then we can stack the Fox on top of the Cobra so he can leave. But then can I get the Cobra out? I think so, because it can just go around to this pale teleporter and turn this corner. And we can leave. And that's all of them. Like, the start of it is definitely very restrictive. Like, you have to really watch out for the spikes. After like, the few walls are broken that need to be broken, I guess it's a bit more loose of, like, yes, being able to travel around. But it's pretty tough, that one. I mean, this is potentially, what, our second to last Scarab puzzle, right? I think by going by the counts, there will be one more in the final room. But that might be it. No more Scarab cages for us. There is a yellow plaque here, but I already got that before because last time I just visited all the rooms just to hoover up this information. So now we gotta make no mistake. For example, if I was to turn this tile it will face a dog, and then I will be trapped, because then I won't be able to move it or do anything. If I was to move it to the right, it will also then align this path with a dog, and I will be trapped, which means I have to move down, and then I can collect this light. And then I probably have to write in this tile, because this one is now, yes, wherever I put it might be blocked. So this tile, I can't turn it here to collect this light. And I can write it here to collect this light. But I cannot turn it to go to the light that's above us, because the dog from the top can still see us. I'm pretty sure, similarly as the lasers, the view works. I also can't move this tile to up one, because the dog from the side will see us. So what's next? Because I'm like a bit stuck right here. Yeah, so if we do this, we can get this light, but we're chained by that dog, and now we can neither move nor turn, which means the level is fully lost. So we've got to be really careful here about what we do with those tiles. Because we can't move them, we can't turn them, but if we move them and turn them in a way that makes us face the dog, right, because they can see us across the whole board and there is like gaps everywhere, then they will be able to just trap us, and I'm pretty sure then we won't be able to like free ourselves at all, so the level will be lost. So we can, for example, write in here and get that, but we won't be able to get the bottom or this light from this, because the dogs at the top and sides and the bottom, they can see us. We can write into here because there's a wall blocking things there. And I guess we can step in and grab this light, but here we can step away somewhere where they can't see us, so that's still fine. But if we were to move it to here, for example, and land, then the dog from the bottom will see us and both the sides will be locked. So you gotta be careful. Here is fine, because it's locked out. And we can grab those lights. Just don't get fully caught. Now, the one in the bottom right is an interesting one, because we will get caught in it. Like, we can't move it or rotate it because there's a dog everywhere, which means we have to, like, for example, use this tile so that when we get there, there is a way for us to escape the logs. So we need to move that one out of the way somewhere where we will be able to transfer, which is currently not possible. Moving this here is fine and grabbing this light. But then we can't ride this tile because the dogs can see us, so we need something else. This is also fine. So now just the two lights in the corners. We can use tiles to block view, right? So we could put something there. Okay, yes. Now we're caught, but we can transfer to those two tiles to do something with them. Right, because now we will drop that there to block the dogs, and then we can save ourselves here, transfer to here, grab that light. So we have to do something similar at the bottom, where, yes, now if we land this here, we're blocked from the dogs on the left. We can grab it, they chain us while we're walking here, but we're okay to just transfer back, transfer in this tile, turn up, and we're done. So that's all of the small levels done, and it's time for what might be the final chamber in this pyramid, or what might just be the opening to an even bigger rabbit hole. One of those things. Sharon's masterpiece. Okay, 6 stars. They didn't like add an additional difficulty level. It seems like there's a pipe here that's blocking me from going around. Yes, like the pipe and the jellies. So I can't go do the scarab. The chest is there as well, and there is another yellow board to tell us some additional information. He's here. Sharon, I found you. Okay, he's just snoozing. What? He's sleeping? While the chest is left unguarded? He's that confident I won't be able to solve this puzzle? Yeah, so he's just snoozing, and he doesn't think we can do it. Now, there are no lights in this level, I guess the thing is there are jellies that won't let us go into that section where everything is. So that's what we're solving for. And yes, there is a big puzzle with many laser and many jelly laser receivers, right? And it seems like while there are matching color jellies, there are 2 receivers for each color, so it won't be as easy as getting one of them deleted. We have to get everything connected. So this level, unsurprisingly, has been really hard. And I've been at it for a while trying to figure out, well, how to solve it, but trying to figure out basically what the trick to it is, because there isn't really a continuous path through this level, and it seems to be that you have to figure out basically how to wind and unwind the tiles, use the combination of tile movement and tile turning to get yourself around those corners that are actually accessible. Because I can get it to a state where it's almost done. Quite a few things are there. I even got it to a state once where it was fully solved, but I was stuck in a corner somewhere and couldn't leave. So the problem then becomes like, yes, how do you unwind this whole thing into the right place? So I've been thinking about it for a while, trying to work it out with my various whiteboarding and other methods, and now I'm gonna try to put it into one continuous solution, because I think with a lot of the puzzles I've just been going like with the flow and then and editing, taking some bits out, but I would like to get a video of it about how to solve it, even if it's not the most optimal, so maybe it helps some other people if they are super stuck and see this video. And with that, it's finally done. It's finally done, and we can actually exit the puzzle and we can go through. Does Sharon have anything to say? No, okay, because I guess we've not yet like activated anything. So first of all, what's over here? Okay, it's the hieroglyphics we've seen all around. And phantom block? What's a phantom block? Is this a new attack we're going to learn? Like, what is it? There is a scarab puzzle, and there is, of course, the chest. So I'm like, I assume we should solve all the puzzles before we go to the chest, right? So let's try it. Let's see what it is. Looks simple. I assume it's not. It's not simple because the scarab's exit is in the middle, and there isn't a way for him to get propped up into it. Like, the scorpion can do this. And then he can go into this teleporter. But then, yeah, he's gonna loop infinitely. Oh, this does remind me of something that we found earlier on in our journal, which just said like impossible level, and there were like numbers and a spiral. So I can't check it right now, and I don't want to exit this because I'm wondering like, will something happen if we just let it keep going, or will something happen if we like turn this thing midway? No, okay, we can't turn this at all because the move is executing endlessly. So yes, I'm like, can we break the world by just letting it keep going? Because I think it said something like 100, 500 on that, so I'm just gonna let it sit. See if anything happens. Okay, it just stopped. So now we can just turn it and exit. And that's it. That's the final scarab box. We just had to break reality. I guess a little silly one at the end. So that's the supposedly impossible level done. And last scarab from the cage achieved. So now we can claim our treasure, finally. Our wish. Wish ticket. You've opened the treasure. Congratulations. You've obtained a ticket for one of Sharon's wishes. It's time to go claim it. Yes, he has to grant me a wish because I got the ticket from his chest. Sharon, here's the ticket that gives me my wish. But when did you? Well, I admit it. I can't do anything against your determination. Yes, I told you I would solve every puzzle on my path. Very well. I shall grant you this wish. So what do you desire? All the money in the world? Eternal peace? Or perhaps an infinite sunflower seed to munch on? Oh, the seed sounds really cool, but I've got another idea. Then speak your wish, Jones. I wish for you to create many places like this one, filled with puzzles all around the world, so I can explore them with my team. Oh, he just wished for more puzzles. So basically, the dev is like, many sequels will make it a series. I'm down. So be it. May your desire become reality. Is this the true ending then? Or is there more? Okay. A Mayan temple. And some sort of wintry place. Underwater place. In a volcano. A haunted house. Some sort of ancient Greek ruin. Space! Okay, well, I expect the devs to make all of those things now, yeah? For each one of those places, there's going to be a game, yeah? I'll be waiting. And yes, that brings us to the credits for the second time, because we had the credits before with the song. But it's not the end yet, right? We haven't solved all of the Scarab riddles. And there were a couple of other things that seem unexplained, right? I felt like there were some hidden clues in the previous ending song. Of course, this clue we just got on this last board was just like phantom block. That's a new concept, right? So there is... This whole section was the post-credits section, and this is the post-credit credits. And now there will be post-credit section with more puzzles. I'm not even sure if I will be able to find and solve it all. Probably not in this one video, so when I said this might be the last one, there might be an additional one that's like, here's any extra bits that I've managed to find or solve, depending on how much there is and how complicated it is. The achievement for this, all this work for only 1% of players to see this. They don't expect many people. So this takes us to 191.5% solved, right? So still not quite the 213% we were told it should be. And I don't think just solving those additional scarabs is going to do it. So yes, there's definitely more. But for now, our friends want to chat. Dr. Hamstein, I finally opened the chest. Incredible, my friend. I'm surprised Sharon let you do that. I didn't give him a choice. There are no puzzles left in this pyramid. Nah, suspicious that. I wouldn't be so sure. Did you collect all the beetles? Exactly. Alright, there's still stuff to do. Yes. Let's not call it a victory before we've checked everything out. I opened the chest, Anne-Marie. I'm so happy. Wow, you managed to convince Sharon to grant you one of your wishes? Yes. What was your wish? I hope you ask for eternal peace and for knowledge to spread across the world. Not exactly. We'll talk about it another time. See you later. Yes, we'll talk about it when we're in one of those many other places that are now waiting for us in all of the extra games the devs are going to make. But yes, now it's road to 50 scarabs to find out what's behind this door. So, turns out those last scarab puzzles are really involved. And they're not even the end of the secrets of this game, because now I gotta look for this phantom block and whatever that may lead us to. So I think I'm going to have to once again save it for another video. So thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this one, consider liking or subscribing. Thank you to channel members for supporting the channel, and I will see you soon on another adventure.